All right, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely night, wherever you're from. And real quick, before we get started, I want to give a lovely shout out to the channel members on this channel. So thank you so much to these lovely commanders here that you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for your guys' constant generosity and support to me as always. It really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much. And if you guys are actually interested in becoming a lovely commander yourself, if you are interested in any of these cute and lovely emotes, the loyalty crown badges, if you want a special role in the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, if you choose to do so, thank you so much. Just remember that's not the only way that you can support me. Just watching the content like you are right now is truly the best way. Liking, subscribing, and commenting, everything really does help. So thank you guys so much. And for today's video, I know we're kind of late on this topic because last night they actually came out with both of the new units with their kits, as well as the maintenance. Everything's coming out early right now, but it's not released yet. It's just being added to the game early. And originally I thought it was because of leaks, but someone did correct me and told me that it's also Chinese New Year next week. So it makes sense why they're gonna have it off. So they just want to have everything ready. So thank you for that correction. That being said though, there is a lot to cover right now. So in terms of content, I'm gonna put timestamps wherever you want to go, whatever you're interested in. So thank you so much for watching. Let's just get started and let's actually put it on screen right here. And as always, we're at the Goddess of Victory Nikke Twitter. Nikke motion demonstration for our lovely girl Mast, using the machine gun Romantic Heart. She is a supporter who enhances her allies' attacks with damage distribution abilities. When using her burst skill, she boosts the attack power of all allies. You know, I've already seen some things with the kits, so I already have some opinions with it, but I want to get through the motion demonstration first because I want to see if they actually cook, you know? Like, cooking is the best part of this, and I mean, like, sometimes it's like a blessing to realize that, like, I'm not a meta slave, right? Like, I go for fan service first, and then I'll do meta. Like, this is just peak to me. Like, it looks so good, dude. Like, I understand if you're not pulling because you're like a free-to-play and low on currency. You really want the collab. You know, I get it. But, like, for me, this is what I'm here for. Like, I play Nikke for, like, the fan service Kumer Gacha, like, waifu collector aspect. Like, as competitive as I am, I prefer, like, great-looking units like this. So I'm, like, really happy to see that Mast is just so much justice. And I love how Morgan looks. Morgan just looks great. And that wallpaper right there, god damn! That's a great wallpaper right there. That's gonna be a W for me. I'm gonna go for it. Easy. And look at those look at that JPS. That JPS was insane. Really, really good looking JPS. Like, hold on, let me just... Like, the JPS, man, it's cooking. You know, fan service wise, I'm really excited for this event. I feel like they're getting better and better with it. You know, copium that this is a good year for fan service for Nikke. But outside of fan service, let's actually go get a good look at the kit right here. And with Mast Romantic Maid, she is a burst 2. They are both burst 2, just to give you a heads up. And with that comes the dreaded cooldown time of 40 seconds for a burst 2 in the year 2025 in Nikke. It's kind of crazy that they chose to go this route, but we're gonna get into it in a little bit. But she is a supported burst 2, 40-second cooldown code water, machine gun. Let's get started because her skill 1, a Pirate's Heart, is very interesting because they added a new mechanic and it's kind of interesting. Activates when entering burst stage 1, affects self. Drunken. When she's in this drunken state, her hit rate goes down 20% and stacks up to 3 times continuously. So you'll lose 60% of your hit rate if you get the full 3 stacks. But what also activates when in drunken state and affects all allies is that the critical rate goes up and attack goes up of the caster's attack continuously. The attack is pretty good. The critical rate is kind of iffy just because critical rate in this game is always just kind of iffy in my opinion. Skill 2, a Pirate Spirit. Activates when entering burst stage 3 in drunken status and affects all allies. So for all allies, distributed damage goes up 15.03% times the number of drunken stacks for 10 seconds. So this could be a multiplication of either 1, 2, or 3 depending on the stack count you have. Same goes with the reloading speed of a 15.04% for 10 seconds. However, this is the part that I want to talk about that we're going to come back to when we go look at Anchor's kit. Activates when the caster reaches max stacks of drunken at the end of full burst. Affects self after the stacks are removed. She has a hangover and she gets stunned for 10 seconds. Some people are going to say this is really annoying. This is like stupid. And I half agree with you because I do think it's stupid and it's unnecessary, but I also think it's fun. I like stupid, weird kits like this. I've already talked about this. I like the weird niche stuff, and this is kind of up my alley for like weird stuff. In terms of her burst skill, a Pirate's Romance, this affects all allies. Crit damage goes up 40.04% for 10 seconds, attack damage goes up, and affects all allies if in a drunken state. Attack goes up 20.06% times the number of drunken stacks of the caster's attack for 10 seconds. So Mast looks really good in terms of crit and attack. Like I said though, crit is still kind of iffy, but the numbers look pretty damn good. The hangover thing is something we're going to come back to, especially with her whole drunken state. We will come back to that. For what the kit looks like right now, in terms of the cooldown time of 40 seconds, in terms of the hangover, in terms of the drunken state with those stacks, it's a little iffy and it's very niche. I do have a team in mind that I really want to use because the moment that I see distributed damage, I really want to make a fun waifu team at this point in time. And what I think of a good fun waifu team for me is that I want to use Rouge, I want to use Mast, I want to use BeeBee, Anchor, and then something else, maybe Quincy, because that distributed damage and crit sounds very fun. I know there's still some question marks in the air right now when it comes to her stacks and stuff. I promise we'll come back to that. But real quick, she is not the only one that had her kit and motion demonstration release, because I just mentioned it. Anchor also came out with hers, and it's looking pretty promising, but at the same time really niche, you know? Anchor Innocent Maid uses the rocket launcher Innocent Question. She's a supporter who strengthens her allies' survivability and attack capabilities. She recovers the HP of all allies and improves the squad stability with her burst skill. We're actually going to get a quick look at the burst motion demonstration before we actually get to looking at the kit itself, and we're going to go from there. I'm honestly surprised they actually gave her the SSR version, but she looks great. I really like it. Like, I was surprised that they chose her. Obviously, Mast is like way up more my alley, but I mean, the characters look great. I'm like surprised how well they did for this maid event. This is definitely like the year so far of fan service so far. Like the last 3 units that we've gotten, counting these ones right now, the fan service has been fine, like normal. There hasn't been like any issue with that, and I hope they can keep up that streak, honestly. Like, that streak would be pretty nice. I want to see what the wallpaper looks like, because my original goal was to go for both MLB. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what it is. Oh, she's making the food, and she burns, and then she makes it. That's a cute little starfish Omaris. I think that starfish Omaris is the wallpaper. It looks fine, but I really prefer the Mast one in my opinion. But overall, you know, they cooked. But I'm also interested to talk about her kit, because it's actually gonna coincide with Mast. So let's actually get to the kit, because when we're talking about the kit, I think this is what's officially gonna make it the Elysion duo or Elysion to have. And the reason I say that is because not only is she another burst 2, it's also another 40-second cooldown. So it's almost as if Shift Up wants us to pull for both, which I think is bullshit, by the way. But I mean, it's not like they did this before when it came with Blanc and Noir. Except technically Noir you could actually use on her own, and Blanc you actually needed Noir before Rouge came out, for that 40-second to go to 20. But we'll get to why she's more important for Mast in a second, because her skill 1 Starface, but we'll get to more why she's really important to Mast in a second. Let's break down her skills, because skill 1 Starfish Shaped Omaris activates when entering full burst and affects all allies. Effect changes according to the activation times. So the previous effects trigger repeatedly. Once, potency of HP goes up 30.96% for 5 seconds. Twice, distributed damage goes up 30.4% for 10 seconds. 3 times, the stack count of debuffs go down 1. That is the main reason why you need both of these characters, because she is going to be the reason why Mast will never get to the Drunken Stage 3, or the stack 3, because she will always stay at stack 2, so she'll still give buffs to all the allies and stuff. She'll still have a 40% hit rate debuff though. Before I talk about that, let's just keep going. Activates when entering full burst with an ally from the same squad still on the battlefield and affects all allies. Recovers 3.04% of the caster's max HP every 1 second for 8 seconds. And it says same squad, so technically I think this could also count with Helm. Skill 2, Sea Anemone Shaped Pasta. Activates after full burst ends and affects all allies. Effect changes according to the activation times. Previous effects trigger repeatedly. Once, hit rate goes up 10.13% for 10 seconds. Twice, attack goes up 35.02% of the caster's attack for 10 seconds. 3 times, reloading speed goes up 40.04% for 15 seconds. And now this part with the burst is very interesting, and I really want to talk about it because I think that's what's going to make her a really, really great healer. Burst skill Seaside Stroll affects all allies. Storage. If the target obtained a healing effect that exceeds the character's max HP, excess portion will be stored up to 60.19% of the caster's max HP, and it lasts for 25 seconds. So, if you don't know, that's why Marciana's a really good healer, because of this effect right here. Marciana also has this storage effect, and it really helps her out in terms of healing. Recovers 40.18% of the caster's max HP as HP, and attack goes up 30.09% of the caster's attack for 10 seconds. Let's try to wrap everything together here and make sense of this. So Mast gets in a drunken state, and she gets a debuff of hit rate, and it could go up to 60%, and then she gets stunned if she has 3 stacks. But if you have Anchor in the same team, then she will only keep 2 stacks because of her buff. But if you have Anchor and Mast on the same team, then that stack count of the debuff will go down by 1, keeping Mast Drunken State at 2. What this means is that you really need both of these characters for that team to really work. Not only that, but they both share this whole distributed damage effect, as well as some good healing from Anchor, honestly. My advice when it comes specifically to Mast, the moment that I see that hit rate, you're gonna need to get OL lines, at least like 2 or 3 really good lines of hit rate or max ammo, or even both. It's definitely a weird one, and it's definitely a little complicated. But honestly, the fact is that you just need both of these characters if you really want to use Mast. For me, the pulling aspect is not the problem. It's the materials. The fact is that you need to build both of these characters if you really want them to shine, right? And then it's like, well, I don't have that much materials. There's only so much materials you get in this game, and it's frustrating. So we'll see how investment heavy they're going to be. But for now, I think I'm still going to go for both MLB. I understand that they are not limited characters, but the collab is also around the corner. But I don't care about Evangelion. I like good fan service, and I like original characters from this game as well. So that's what I prefer, I'm sorry. But that is going to be all the content we talked about. I know there was a lot of yapping. I hope those timestamps were appreciative. But that is going to be it for me. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on these two characters. How do you feel about them? What do you think of their looks? I'm definitely happy with how it's looking. So for me, I'm still kind of excited. I honestly don't care. But that is going to be it for me. So I hope you guys have a lovely day, a lovely night, wherever you're from. And as always, thank you so much for the constant support. Take care and have a good one.